Hello, everybody. Welcome to the third episode of Let's Erase Domestic Violence. Do you have any idea, friends, how brutal can domestic violence be and how much it can impact an individual's life? Today, let's hear from a survivor who is still facing the repercussions of domestic violence and how she went through a challenging journey to settle down herself and her kids without maintaining support. I also welcome Dr. Bollineni Keerthi, President at Vasavya Mahila Mandali NGO, India. Dr. Keerthi's NGO is working aggressively in the field of women empowerment. She herself is providing much support to victims of domestic violence in her own capacity. She has listened to many women who have faced domestic violence, and now she has a list of action points which can really help domestic violence victims big way. Welcome, Dr. Keerthi, to the show. So thank you so much for your time. So let's listen from the survivor that what helped her to keep going and how she managed herself during those days when she was facing domestic violence. Hello.
Yeah, hi. And right now I am just a case number in the courts actually. And like me, there are lakhs of women who have just become a case number in the courts. Domestic violence is acknowledged everywhere, whether it's India or whether it's across the world. But what is the solution till date, despite having laws in place, despite having constitution in place, why women are suffering, what is the recourse to it, what is the solution to it? Till date, it really baffles me how a woman, who despite having an education, despite having being in 21st century, she's helpless. She's helpless on all records. First, I sought justice from home. Later on, when I started my journey in courts, is a different ordeal. It's like torture of another level. I am professionally qualified with engineering degree and MBA to boot. Despite that, my education, my studies could not fight the mindset I was in actually. Why I kept quiet is a question I am being asked all the time. For 30 years, why I remained in a marriage is a question I am being asked all the time. I wanted a home for my children. I wanted a safe place for my children, for myself, hoping that the family I am in will protect me. This is not so. In fact, Domestic Violence Act, I did not know anything about the law. I did not know how things worked. But when it hit me very badly, then I started to realize that this act is just a toothless tiger. It does not protect the women who are undergoing it. In fact, COVID has precipitated it to a point where it has become now, side by side, it's become a shadow pandemic issue. When I started my journey in courts to get justice, I realized that, the judiciary, despite judiciary being very strong at a place, lawyers were not that ethical. It's been at the age of 58, it's been more than 5 years since I am fighting in courts to get a decent maintenance to live a life of dignity. I gave up my career for my family. I was forced to give up my career to look after the children and the family and cater to the in-laws family. Today, everybody abandoned. My mission in life right now, after surviving domestic violence to a point where I literally lost my life, is now to see world a better place for my daughter and all the daughters who are in this situation. Laws need to be so airtight that there is no escape for any person committing this kind of violence or abuse towards a woman. Domestic abuse, there are a lot of stakeholders: family, friends, relatives, companies, organizations, policymakers, governments. Everybody needs to come together to address this issue as a whole. If there is one stakeholder which is not part of the system, this is not going to happen. How long can you go on fighting uh, without the finance in your this thing at the age of, after 20 years of marriage, 30 years of marriage, even 5 years of marriage, a woman who's out of job does not have financial security to herself. Till date, we all know there is no property rights for any married woman. There is no, even for working women, there is gratuity, there is provident fund, there are Vishaka guidelines, there are all kind of laws which are protecting her, though there are issues out there too. For any homemaker who is at home, who is taking care of her family and in turn taking care of children and the husband, she does not have any kind of right or any privilege which gives her, some kind of pension or provident fund. She's just left on her own. The reason is homemakers are not considered to be, a sector, or I can say a professional. They're not, their work is not considered to be of any value if she undergoes any kind of situation. As per in the International Labour Organization, any person who is working for more than 5 hours is considered a professional. This is not true with any homemaker. She doesn't know where to go. I mean, then there are civil laws, then there are criminal laws. She does not know these kind of evidences are required. She does not know that, mental abuse, physical abuse, economic abuse, financial abuse, even the systems abuse her. How long can she go on fighting in courts? Her half the life is gone. I have yet to see any case where there is a mechanism of execution of orders passed by courts. The courts do their job after 5 years, 6 years of fighting, because there is a system of appeal revision by the opposition parties. Then by the time the cases reach Supreme Courts, more than 90% of the cases are dropped out from courts. They just give up. You need to have financial resources to fight, and this is what is happening with me right now. 30 years I went through abuse. It was a miracle that I survived that. And then I have to prove in court that I am a homemaker, because all kind of nonsense is written about you, that she is a professionally qualified woman, she can earn her own living. And after that, when you prove there, you're not even allowed to live in a marital home. It's so disgraceful. Civil suit is filed against me to vacate this home. All kind of tactics are used by opposition lawyers to scare me. I simply went to courts to get justice because abuse happened to me. But now I am embroiled in multiplicity of litigations. From where do I get this kind of money to give to lawyers to fight my cases?
I strongly agree
It's
with
been
you.
5 years. It's been 5 years. I have spent hell lot of money by selling my jewelry, by borrowing money from people, and there is no recourse. There's no recourse to justice. There's no relief from courts. Even if the orders are passed, there is an appeal against it. And then I have changed something like 5 to 6 lawyers because I was compromised there also.
Maybe it is affecting for your daughter's growth and development and education also. How it is hampering your daughters? Yeah.
Yes, it has affected my children. They are scarred. It has affected, their whole life. they are psychologically affected very badly, and I have to take care of them also. First, I have to take care of myself. It's been a miracle that I didn't fall into depression, though bouts of depression do affect me very badly. But then there is no option just to move on and do things which make me running to get justice. I don't know when I will get justice. I don't know when I will get maintenance. Situation is really bad.
And also at this age of 58 years, to get any job is also very, very difficult. Because now the jobs are more for younger generations.
Very true,
Yes,
Dr.
you're
Keerthi. You're right. Because the other challenges which comes with these factors and government, I mean, our surroundings are not understanding this problem. Do they have to come up with some solution? And as Dr. Keerthi is running a petition, we will be sharing the link about the petition. She is running a petition to support women who are facing challenges to survive in this scenario, and they are not getting maintenance. So yes, I will all request my audience to sign that petition and help Dr. Keerthi. And to our survivor, I am speechless. We have a professional with us. We have a mother with us who had some dreams for herself and her kids. But everything went on toss. And she never had any support from the family. She never had any support from the judiciary. I don't want to go particularly in details how things must have happened and what happened. The question to me which is coming, that every woman has some dreams for herself, and we are not prepared for this situation. Our parents never teach us that what will happen if such situation comes. What should we do? So in that case, we should be having that empowerment with us that can help us out to survive in this scenario. So Dr. Keerthi, what's your opinion? You have listened to so many other stories, like we are having a survivor story with us. This is real life story, friends. This is not something we have crafted out. This is a real life story where a survivor has really put her hard work. She has persistently tried, given her best for her kids, and she is proud survivor. She is really standing on her own now, and she has provided that support to her kids. So we are really proud of her. But what with those ladies who are not educated? They are not aware where they can go. So what's the solution? What do you think, Dr. Keerthi?
First of all, let me give a hug to the survivor.
Definitely. There should be a big clap for her. And this is an inspiration, and this is a shout out to all women out there who are facing these challenges, that they should be getting inspiration from a survivor story, and they should be coming out of their challenges. They can speak about it, and they have help. Like we're having Dr. Keerthi's NGO, which is working a lot in field of women empowerment. So this is the intention behind this show. If you are watching this and you are facing domestic violence, do reach out to Dr. Keerthi and get inspiration from her survivor story.
Like the story which we heard from our survivor, there are thousands of stories, not only in India, across the world, many women are facing. So that's why in India, we have taken a petition for maintenance, because now the survivor told she sold away the gold, and she has got the loans, and how she will repay all those things. And also, besides that, the soft part of emotional agony, and also depression, stress, and also impacting the lives of the children. So, some of the things which we can tell, the suggestions to go ahead is, there is no data in India with regard to the maintenance. Because now the survivor told, even after 5 years, she didn't get the maintenance.
That's so shocking.
To see how it is impacting their basic life, so the data has to be built. And also, create a national registry for domestic abuse offenders. We don't have domestic abuse offenders registry in India. So let us start that. The government has to take initiative, and the women groups and networks and men and parliamentarians should come forward and demand for a registry of the domestic abuse offenders. It's a very, very essential. And also, we should have special courts to deal with such cases. We have laws. We have domestic violence law. We have Criminal Procedure Code Section 125 and Hindu Maintenance Act and Hindu Adoption Act. All those things are there. But still the life of the woman is like this. So what is required is a time-bound nature of hearing the cases and giving the judgments, and also same side the execution. As our survivor told now, that it needs to have a multi-sectoral collaboration and also effectiveness to go ahead with it. So that's why we require to have the courts with a fast track to settle them in a time-bound nature, and execution by different stakeholders. And also, we need trained counselors to deal with them when they are facing domestic violence, and at the same time, when they are going through the process with the legal procedures and even execution, and also guide them in a right way. So these are the few suggestions I can give it. And also, the women, when they are highly qualified also, after the marriage, just they are coming out of the professional life and taking care of unpaid care work, which is not going into the Indian GDP.
No.
And also, same time, their work is not being recognized in the economic terms.
Very true.
So that's why they have to be given a kind of a monthly
Allowance.
Pay for their bank account.
Bank account. Wonderful share, Dr. Keerthi. Thank you so much for sharing such wonderful sessions. And I wish all the best to our dear survivor, that she has done incredible work in life, and I wish all the best for her bright future. I will request my audience to definitely check out the link for the petition and support Dr. Keerthi, and reach out. And this is a shout out to everybody who is watching this show, that please support people who are around, who are facing domestic violence. Help them out and give them power to speak out and come out of those challenges. See you in episode 4 next time. Thank you for watching this show.